It's longer time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories, and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?
Greetings, bonjour, what's happening? Welcome to Lager Time. My name is Paul Cree. My dehumidifier has just kicked off just as I start recording, typically. But welcome to Lager Time, my fairly regular podcast where I share bits of work that I'm writing on. B-Day, poems, stories, thoughts, and sometimes music. Tonight will be chapter 5 of Way of the Kip. Been a few weeks since I've shared anything on that, but we'll get to that in a moment. So I didn't do an episode last week. I was away. There was no time. I wasn't in the country, mate. I was in Budapest. Budapest. It was Bucharest, as I kept saying by mistake, much to the annoyance of my dear wife. So you may be wondering why I was in Budapest. So my wife is an Arsenal fan. She's a season ticket holder. So she was in a ballot to get tickets for the Champions League final. And she got them. So I went with her and we had a very nice time. I'm not an Arsenal fan. My wife is. I felt very honoured to accompany her to such a magisterial occasion, and we had a nice little trip. We were there for a few days. Lovely city, beautiful city actually, great people, decent food, the weather was nice. Bit of a mare getting there. We had to fly via Belgium, and then on the way out our plane from London was delayed, and then we missed our connecting flight from Belgium, so we had to stay in a hotel and get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and go to Amsterdam, and then from Amsterdam to Bucharest, Budapest. And anyway, we got there really like best part of a day later than what we intended, but it was all right. We got there, had a great time. I'm a Millwall fan, as I've mentioned on here many times before. Seeing elite level football is a bit of a bonus for me, I suppose. I love football. I enjoy watching football. I enjoy watching like the elite guys play the game. It's not very often I get to do it. And though I think Millwall done very well this season, it is a different level. And really we're watching two of the best at this present time, certainly in Europe. I don't know about the other leagues in the world, but we can assume that Europe is one of the best ones. And it was great to watch. We were up in the gods, but it allowed me a sensible soccer view of the pitch, which was actually good, because I liked watching how they line up, how they moved as a unit. And I think, look, Arsenal they weren't great, but I didn't think they were that bad. PSG, for all the ball possession that they had, they didn't actually have many shots on goal. Arsenal defensively are elite. They just couldn't, at the other end of the pitch, make the ball stick. Every time it went up to Havertz, it bounced off him. Or they couldn't play passes to one of their own players. But anyway, I'm sure some of you watched it. You'll have your own conclusions. There was no lager time. Aside from that, in between coming back or going away and coming back, I've been busy cracking on with various things, but I've been mainly at home. Lots of more work on What We Do When We Can't Dance, which is the Dream Arts rep show. They just performed last week at the Phoenix Theatre in Golders Green. By all accounts, it went very well. Obviously, I was not able to be there because I was in Budapest. Also, Large Up Beatbox Academy, they had their show on the same day. It's another project I've worked on They did their show called The Originals, which is loosely based on Lord of the Flies, one of my favorite books. Yes, I've been doing bits of work on that this week and also trying to promote my new EP, which is out and about. It's on all streaming platforms to stream or download. And that is More 64s of Boredom. Last episode, I did my very own one-man launch party. It was a bit of a mess, but, it was fun doing it. Yeah, I'm enjoying doing it. I'm treating that project really as a little tester. The music stuff I've explained before, I do it because I just like doing it. I don't expect anything from it. I'm not trying to get signed or anything ridiculous like that. I do it just because I like doing it. However, the next thing I want to do will be this little book of poems. I've got all these poems stacked up. So what I'm trying to do is just experiment in the little ways that I can with doing bits of social media promo. So I've been putting up some of the lyrics online on Instagram and wherever else, and some of them are done all right, some less so. When I do the poems, I want to record little videos, that kind of thing. So I'm just treating it as an exercise, really. I don't like social media. Lots of people don't. It brings out the worst in me. On one hand, I'm very much craving those likes. I can feel it tugging on me. But simultaneously, I don't like putting my face on things or myself in videos. Sometimes I have to. I have to feel a little bit of like self-loathing. I don't know, I'm tapping into a narcissistic part of me that I don't know. But I'm trying to, everything is low stakes right now because I'm just doing this for me. However, I would like to improve what I do and try and build some sort of following if it's possible, so I can make things and make better things. And obviously the more you do, the more money it costs. So like, for instance, the next music project, I would love to have someone come and master it, but I need to pay money for that. With I don't know, if I do a book and I put one out myself, maybe I might want to get, if it grows, pay someone to do a little bit of press or something like that. But all of this costs money. And if you can build up a following, maybe people will be willing to pay for stuff. And also, bloody hell, I just dropped a bottle of water. Something I can't escape from is doing shows. Keep going back to doing a show again. Doing it myself. Don't know what it is yet. I've got a couple of ideas that have been slowly percolating. But I can't get away from the excitement doing like a little show. Did a few of them in the past. But I don't know. So, you build up a little supporter base online or wherever. And then let's say I've got a decent idea for a show and I hire out a little space, then hopefully some of those people will pay to come and watch it and then buy so much. I mean, that's the idea. That's the dream. That's the dream. If I could get 20 people in a room paying 10 quid and buying a bit of merch, that'd be great. Low expectation. But it's long. Even getting people to stream an EP is very difficult. But there you go. It's hard out there. So this week, what we're doing, chapter 5, Way of the Kip. This is the story of my character, Reese. He struggles with sleep and he works in a dull office job. His lifestyle's not great. he drinks or eats crap, and he's struggling at work, keeps falling asleep, and things are happening around him that's making him question himself, and he sought out some advice about getting some decent sleep. And the last episode, Bianca, who he works with, who works in accounts, recommended a sandalwood candle from Tesco. And he did it, and it didn't work very well. So this is the aftermath. Chapter 5, Way of the Kip. No matter how mellow the alarm sound I selected, it's like the blow had grown go-go-gadget arms during the night. And with every polyphonic note the phone made, it jabbed up my eardrums with brass knuckles. Made a blind grab for the phone, grappling for the off button, dropping the thing on the floor. Quick inhaled in and swung my legs out the side of the bed. Felt the cold on my shins. Slowly sat up, half opened my eyes and stared at my old red football shorts covering my thighs. The M was missing from the name. You, bro. Another breath then acknowledged the waking pain of the day. Routine, but this one hit harder. The feeling that I'd only just got to sleep 5 minutes before was normal. This time it came gift wrapped with something extra that I couldn't yet identify. The thread had come loose along the right side of my shorts, and the red colour had long since faded. Reminded me when my first goldfish, my goldrick, slowly stopped being gold and faded out like a photograph, till he got the final flush to the hallowed burial grounds of the Newtown sewage treatment. I'd had those shorts for a good 10 years. Well, 10 years. Don't know if it was all that good. 10 years back was probably the last time I had a kickabout. I reckoned I could still thread a pass though. The phone bleated again. Picked it up, switched it off. Next to the blower on the floor was the tissue. Of course. I heard a chuckle over my left shoulder. My neck slowly turned towards it. October's Frank Lampard was grinning, whilst making a hand gesture, mimicking the one I would have made probably about 3 hours before. Underneath him sat that sedate sandalwood candle. Sandalwood, the scent of failure. You mug, you think it's that easy? Pull the other one, son. And there it was, the bow on the present. Frank was right. I'd convinced myself just one simple purchase from Tesco was going to solve all my sleep problems. Mug. Why was it always like this any time I tried to do something to improve my life? I'd hit somber season, just didn't see it coming. I should have. The life cycle of idea, obsession, rushed execution, disappointment, embarrassment, guilt, and finally numbness was complete. It was ever thus. Perfected this little routine sometime back in school. I sighed this time. I slowly stood up, closed my eyes, breathed again, opened my eyes, then cracked on to the bathroom. The walk to Streatham Hill Station was slow. I tried to rationalise this whole candle caper. It's not like I'd done something super shameful. Yet I felt similar to how I would had a down 6 post-work pints on an empty tummy, said some stupid stuff about society, then spewed on the train back and woke up in West Norwood, like the week before. So why was I feeling so low? Despite the multiple signs and announcements about no bikes in rush hour, some plank wearing a tool belt was trying to get on the train with a mountain bike and arguing with a couple of commuters. It was a packed platform and the 7:15 was already rammed when it rolled in. I don't think this geezer was English. probably Polish. But then what did I know? I was probably just a bigot, lacking sleep. Bike man gave up eventually and reluctantly battled his way back to the back of the platform, muttering some harsh syllables in a language I didn't understand. A few commuters grumbled, then chins went back to sternums, eyes to papers, ears to headphones, and no more was said. Standing Ramoni on the train, I was shunted down to that no man's land between two seat backs with nothing to hold on to, just a sandwich of two bods to wobble between. Couldn't even get my iPod out. Probably a good thing. I would have almost certainly drawn for the tearjerkers. Once I've fallen out the train at Victoria and swiped my ticket, I livened up a bit on the bop down Victoria Street. My mind was preparing potential small talk scenarios about what I did last night, needed to deflect any genuine curiosity beyond the basics. Me? Nothing much, just a bit of Sky Sports news. What did you do? That was the best I could come up with. Did the regular eyes right to Westminster Cathedral and thought of Nan taking me and my sister in there when we were nippers. Much to her disappointment, we'd slipped to the lowest tier of membership in the Catholic club. First Easter got dropped, then even Christmas. Now it was attend mass only by invite. Weddings and funerals. The basic package. Still, I always acknowledged its presence on the daily graft march to purgatory. I liked that it was there. It quietly maintained its magnificence on a suffocatingly dull street full of civil-serving concrete office blocks. Godless. Up ahead, I saw Pete going through the glass doors into the office, clutching a copy of The Sun and a Greg's paper bag, most likely containing 2 steak bakes. From distance, I could tell he was whistling a tune. Quick breath, through the doors, then fist bumped Sammy on security, then straight into the lift. Thankfully, no one from my floor was in there. Doors open and into the open plan strip-lit sweat pit. Quick breath, then ran the gauntlet, powering straight to my desk, hoping not to catch any eyes of conversation. How was your sleep, Reese? Did you have sweet dreams? Shaz caught me off guard. Almost stopped. Out of some politeness, I turned my torso. It hurt. Yeah. It was all right. You? You know she's taken, don't you? Who's taken? Bianca? Eh? When she said Bianca, she lifted the A and N, then pushed down on the C and the A, kissed her teeth and turned back to her desk and her bowl of muesli. It was a shame Shaz was fit, because I really disliked her. Clearly, the feeling was mutual, certainly on the disliking. She also had a boyfriend, Trey, who looked like he could handle himself, like Dan. Hero. The last thing I needed now was an office rumour about me fancying Bianca. Like Shaz, she was also quite attractive, just less acerbic and a lot more dim. Why was she telling Shaz about my sleep problems? That was a liberty. Managed to get through the morning mostly without incident. Priya came and inspected my screen once or twice, but despite being sleep deprived, I was managing to hold my focus and processed a bunch of claims. About 11 o'clock, Priya sent an email around saying Monique from Essential Skills was coming in for part 2 of the bias training. I raised an eyebrow at this, as I wasn't aware there was a part 2, and I was beginning to question whether this was an essential skill. I was about to compose a witty response to Diane, making sure it wasn't to Priya this time, but then clocked. My name wasn't on the list of attendees. Pete wasn't on there either. I must have missed the bit where it said ladies' night. What the flip was this? A day at the races? A WI meeting? Either that or some oiled up alpha was coming in dressed as a fireman to swing it about, while they all screamed and giggled. Maybe it was Dan or Trey. I could only conclude that birds had more bias to flush out than geezers, and if Shaz's snidey little remark was anything to go by, my theory was correct. Came back from lunch and saw Monique from Essential Skills in the meeting room setting up the PowerPoint. Once the Spice Girls had filed into the glass menagerie, I took it as an opportunity to go and make a cup of tea. Pete came into the kitchen, whistling. He had another greasy bag from Greg's containing 2 sausage rolls. "Surprised you're not in there, mate," he said. "What, girls' club?" "Girls and gays. Ain't figured which one you are yet, son." "Gay? Who's gay in there?" "Pretty sure I saw Keith go in just now." "Boring Keith's in the training." Sure enough, I stuck my head out, looked across the office floor, and then amongst the well-maintained ladies' barnets was Boring Keith, with his little glasses, big belly and tiny mouth, holding his pen, tiny little grin on his boat. I didn't know Keith was gay. I didn't think he was capable of human relationships. "What's the problem, Reese? You inquiring?" He chuckled at this, while he got a plate out the cupboard. "Couldn't care less if he's gay. He's still a geezer, but he's in there and we ain't. Dunno why you're getting stroppy about it, Reese boy. You think too much, mate. That's your problem." "Yeah, maybe. Just think it's a bit of a double standard." "Moan about it all you like, mate. I'm taking advantage. Got an appointment in Trap 2. Gonna take my time on this one. Had a big ruby last night. Then I'm gonna sit and do my fantasy team and knock off early. I cleared a load of work this morning, so when Priya gets out, I'll go, 'Here, look, I was banging out claims left, right, and centre while you lot was in there.' That's how you play it, son." Off he went, whistling again, clutching his Greg's bag and a plate, then stopped and turned back round. "Oh yeah, Friday afters, the George. Be there, don't be gay." And off he went again. Oh, I've lost my place. Ugh. And off he went again. I envied him. I don't think he was fazed by anything. I looked back across to the glass menagerie. Monique was pointing at a slide, looking very solemn. Though I couldn't tell who was sat where, I could see all eyes were on the screen. It was pure girl power. And Keith. Back on my desk, the tiredness was starting to kick in. I was looking at the same line over and over again. A stronger force was pushing down on my eyelids like slowly losing an arm wrestle. Bam. My eyes snapped open just as the Spice Girls came out the glass menagerie, led by Priya, of course, and I was right in her eye line. They all seemed charged. Even Boring Keith was smiling with his little smile. Diane came past. I tried to say hey, and she completely ignored me. Even Shaz and Bianca ignored me, not even the cut of the eye. All that was left was the open door of the meeting room, where Monique from Essential Skills was picking up some papers from the table. On the projector screen was a slide, which in big letters said, "Discrimination in the Workplace." Under it was a gallery of changing photos, lots of women, black and brown people, with the last slide being the stock photo from the first session of the East Asian man sat at the desk. Gong sound. Oh, there you go. Well, that's quite a lot. I got a bit of a blocked up nose today, so apologies if you're getting nasally sounds. But that'll do for this week. I've got a little bit stuck. I wrote that chapter whilst I was away. I really enjoyed writing it, and then now I've got a bit stuck again. Not quite sure where this is going yet, but there you go. If you like rap music, do me a favour, go stream or download. Stream rather, not scream. I mean, you can scream. More 64s of Boredom. My 5-track rap EP is on Spotify, Apple, all of them. You can download it, pay for it, $5 on BANDCAMP. It's all there. Do me a favour. And yeah, I think that's about it. Have a look. on my website. Get the original EP for £2. And then all going well, I'll be back again next week. Peas and taters. Keep it larger than life out there. Have a good one. Whoa.
It's longer time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?